It's the end of the day with Ray. Hello, my friends. Hey, today I want to introduce everybody to Gregg Lalle. And Gregg Lalle is the Senior Vice President of International Sales at ConnectWise. If you're in the document imaging channel and you don't know who ConnectWise is, well, that could be a problem. But most of y'all do know who ConnectWise is. They're the largest PSA tool in the marketplace. And today I want to introduce everybody to Gregg, and we're going to talk IT services and the transition that the imaging channel really needs to do, and they need to do it now. Gregg, how are you doing, man?
Yeah, good to see you, Ray. Thanks, doing well. Hello to everybody out there. I'm new to the dealer channel, but I've been around the business in ConnectWise for about 11 years now. So we've been in circles, and it's finally been time to get to come on your show. I've been a long-time listener, and really happy to have you.
Well, hey, I appreciate having you on. And, you know, the transition for the imaging channel has been tough, Gregg. And I know that ConnectWise has participated in selling the PSA to the channel for a long time. I mean, well over 10 years. The acquisition of Continuum a couple years ago, but it's been 2 years now, or a year and a half now?
Yeah, it's been a little over 2 years now, yeah. So,
you know, that helped a little bit, and some of the folks were using Continuum, but, you know, I wrote an article this weekend. We're seeing private equity inside the IT space. It's like they're just, you know, I mean, they're just buying everybody up. It's crazy. 600 acquisitions last year, almost. There's been over 20 this year, and we're only in January 11. So, you know, our friends really have to pivot into IT services, and I'm hoping that, you know, introducing them to you, you know, some new faces at ConnectWise, maybe we can help spur them along. But, you know, I got to ask you right off the top, you know, Gregg, you've seen the transition going on from ConnectWise point of view. What are the dealers missing? What are we missing? What's holding them back?
Yeah, sure. So I guess let me correct myself. It was about 2 years since the Tama Bravo acquisition.
Okay.
A little over a year since Continuum.
Okay.
But I think the trends and the information we're seeing still remains. Everything's still on track that we've seen for the last 3 to 5 to 7 years. It's just accelerating in nature, and specifically in the dealer channel, as everyone's well aware. 2020 was a very difficult year. We saw the decline in revenues. This is across the board. You know, as people moved out of the office into the home office. And, you know, a lot of the dealers that had sworn over and over again, you know, to get a managed service practice up, to change and start looking after other assets was going to come. And they were going to put that in their business plans. And it just simply didn't. And it always kind of made me scratch my head a little bit, Ray, because, you know, you guys get the idea of managed services because you charge a fee for something on a monthly basis, probably before managed services were even in existence. So, you know, you get the idea of it, but actually kind of looking in and saying, how do I change my business? And that's really what it is. It's a different business focus. That's going to have to happen. And you used to have time. You used to have the luxury we've seen over the last 10 years where, you know, people could grow their business, get these tools in place, and had time to nurture and really improve your operational model, as you all have heard from Paul Dipple, right, the OML, to climb up that ladder, and you just don't have time anymore. So I'm not somebody generally who comes on in and tries to, again, give you a rah-rah or try to force people in a direction. But my gosh, with private equity coming into the managed service space and really buying these companies up and pushing the operational maturity level, the way they're running these companies right now they're dramatically improving their management structure, their KPIs, their efficiency, their profitability, and scalability. It's crazy the pace of what's going on. We don't see any slowdown in that in 2021 with the availability of funds out there, you know, in the marketplace.
Well, that's why it's so important for our friends to get into this IT space, because they're just leaving so much money on the table. I mean, they were all hoping they were going to get into IT services, you know, put that deliverable in the massive customer bases they had and hit some home runs when they exited. And now they're starting to realize that's not going to be a reality unless you get into the IT services space. There is no more time. But, you know, Gregg, it's just the bottom line is I think the whole industry, and even the IT folks, and, you know, I've criticized some of the IT folks the same way, is that they all thought because we were good at reoccurring revenue models, they all thought because we had the greatest salespeople in the world, it was just going to be an easy button. Just jump into IT services. And as soon as the dealers realized that it was so much different than the print deliverable, they ran into a little bit of struggles. They ran back to what they knew well, which was print. And I believe now is the time, and that's why I'm so obsessed with IT for 2021 on the end of the day with Ray, because I believe right now the dealers have a mindset that this has to work. You know, I just had an email from a guy a little while ago. You know, this has to work this year and going into next year. There is no option. So can you walk me through a little bit of a relationship with ConnectWise? You know, maybe some of these folks, were dealing with Continuum on their own, a couple of years ago. So how is the Continuum and ConnectWise coming together changed anything? Or, walk me through what this looks like. If I'm a dealer right now and I'm like, I'm done with this, raised right, I watch the shows, I want to get into IT, they give ConnectWise a call. Can you kind of walk me into that engagement?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'd start with one of the comments you made, and that, dealers are looking to make that move. It's not me telling them or you telling them anymore, right? It's private equity, the buying and the multipliers these companies are getting who are executing well. So take us out of the equation. It's just the people that are running the business that way and growing the business that way are the ones getting the multipliers and getting the offers. And believe me, there's still people out there searching to buy these type of companies. But before we talk, I guess, about ConnectWise, I just kind of, say from a dealer perspective, there is no easy button. I heard you say that word, and I tell that to folks as we're traveling the globe. If someone promises you that this transition is going to be easy, you should turn around and walk in the other direction. What you're going to have to do is we call it the 3 T's: time, talent, and treasure. You're going to have to analyze how you're spending those in your organization today, and you're going to have to figure out if you want to either A, recommit resources to address the type of practice that you have to build, or B, make further investments in a different type of skill set that's going to help you get there. So I think those are the things you have to look in the mirror first and say, am I ready for this journey? We've helped over 30,000 organizations to date. The DNA of ConnectWise, as you know, right, from Artie and David, it started from a 2-man shop in their parents' upstairs apartment, and has grown now to a billion-dollar company. So, we have this DNA that we want to help. We want to see people make that transition, and that's what we were founded upon. We continue upon that message. But I think it really is up to the dealers themselves to kind of figure out, what it is that you want to be and where you want to go, and let us help you map out that plan. But you got to find vendors and other partners. It's not just ConnectWise. There's several others out there, and that's part of the ConnectWise ecosystem. That's why we have over 100 people that plug into ConnectWise, because we bring that platform to you, which is what you're going to need. Remember, the PSA only helps you optimize the business. That's run the business efficiently from beginning to end. There's the monetization strategies that you need to grow the business. What should I be selling? What should I be doing with pricing and packaging per seat? Whether it be security, advanced security, whether it be traditional managed services. There's a lot to learn, and you've got to get on that journey. We keep telling people, again, if you rate yourself from 1 to 10 and you're a 2, it doesn't matter, because you have to get to a 2.5 to a 3. But you just have to start that journey and be committed. So from a ConnectWise perspective, I'd say, there has to be some soul searching. People have to want to go on that journey, because we have a whole bunch of information. We have blueprints that we can tell you how to arrange your service, your department, your organizations. We have toolkits to help you get going. There's tons of stuff on ConnectWise University. And Ray, if they reach out to you, like I said, I'd be more than happy by virtue of this kind of webcast today that, be more happy to give access to people so they can start getting in there for free and look around and kind of see if they have any questions. What can ConnectWise, what kind of value from a business structure standpoint, and ultimately monetization, what can we do for you to help you run your business?
Talk to me a little bit about that university. So I know that, when I was working with Milton, we were a ConnectWise partner. We use the software, and the other thing you mentioned too that I want to talk real quick about is you guys have put together quite a phenomenal package of, we'll call them bolt-ons to the original ConnectWise platform. There's so many different tools in that system, but when you look at your university, is that a fee? So dealers have to pay to go into that university, or you just said you would give them some access so they could look around? What are they going to see in there?
Yeah, traditionally, it's for partners, our customers only. We've obviously spent, tremendous amount of time and energy building the content. People have asked to pay for it. People have wanted to resell it. There's a lot of it is, the goodness is actual learning the software itself. There's a lot of how-to videos. So that when you purchase ConnectWise, you can assign classes, credentials to your colleagues so that you can ensure usability and adoption and ROI out of the software and get it, adopted into the business. But then you're also going to see a lot of business kind of planning tools. You'll see everything from how-to videos to all of the thought leadership that we do. You'll also see sessions from, Paul, again, did sessions with Arlen Sorensen, who obviously runs Evolve, which was the formerly HTG, formerly HTP, about mergers and acquisitions and planning. The reality is not everybody's at the same level of the consumption. So there's a lot in there, depending upon where you're at on your journey. Again, I think you work with, ConnectWise or account managers, the people we have in place, they help you on your journey to figure out what it is that you can consume raise the bar. But generally speaking, it's accessible for any partner of ours.
Okay.
Again, if people are thinking about it or want to just know more, I'd be more than happy to give limited time, some sort of be a month or so, 2 months into it, so they can go poke around and see what's in there.
And then the biggest event in the world for IT is the ConnectWise IT Nation meeting. I know this last year you guys, obviously the pandemic stopped that. I'm sure it'll be in 2021 because it's in the late part of the year. But can you explain that a little bit? Because, I always say that, ConnectWise has such a loyal following. You go to those meetings, there's literally thousands of people there. And, give us a little bit of an overview, because I really want the dealers to make sure this gets on their calendar. Once everybody can start going to conventions, they're going to start picking the ones they want to go to. And I want to make sure that if you guys are going to have that thing in November, October, that they all go to that. But give us a little overview of that.
Yeah, sure. Well, we're very proud of the community we built over a couple decades now, and it's really been the backbone of who we are. And I told you about the DNA and how we're made up, but I think a lot of the changes, the curves in the road that come up, the ground level of what providers see and what they need in the application is critical to receive that feedback. And then ultimately, it's up to us as well to invest in our partners. Mm-hmm. So not only do we do IT Nation, which is once a year, in Orlando, we also have sessions that we do in June. It's more of a developers type conference, but more. So Connect, IT Nation Connect is in the fall, Explore is in the summertime. Different really motives behind it and who we want to educate and help out. But at the center of all that is community of heart of interaction. It's an ecosystem we've put together. It's those vendor partners coming together. When you see the trade show floors, I know you've been on, where you see hundreds and hundreds of vendors out there, trying to help and wanting to know how they can engage with partners to help their business. It's really incredible. So I think that's really the backbone of who we are. We have also IT Nation share events globally. So we pay for several days of training a year where we bring partners together and we have different sessions based upon the products and some of the thought leadership that we host. So we do a lot of outreach. We try to continually to help keep and build our community. And of course, like I said, IT Nation is kind of the culmination of the year of everybody kind of coming together. And as you said, I think we had the last physical one we had about 4,000 folks there. So we're really good keynote speakers. So it's just something we're proud of and something we've built over the years. And again, I think anybody in the community for any length of time in managed services or service providers at least heard of it, if not gone.
Well, I think this year it's important for our dealer friends to maybe put a hiatus on going to some print meetings. I mean, how many more managed print services classes do they need to go to, or trying to figure out how to sell print by the seat or some crazy stuff, and start focusing on some IT venues. And I think ConnectWise is definitely a good place to go. And folks, I used ConnectWise. I had experience with them. It's a well-run organization. They have a great team there. So, Gregg, I just hope that, our dealers are paying attention, and, whether they use ConnectWise and the Continuum platform or some other platform, but they have to get into IT services. I just happen to believe that ConnectWise can help them get there a little quicker than most. So is there anything you want to add before we end?
Yeah, I guess one final thought, a parting thought would be that, and it doesn't matter if you don't know how. Again, I go back to that. We stress the university, we stress the community. That you have to get the profitability, maximum profitability in everything you do. And you've got to, understand, is that a buy, build, or partner strategy for your organization? And with ConnectWise being kind of unique now, because we have the service side of it in Continuum, where you can basically farm that out and have other folks do your knock, your sock, all these things. You can be a service provider in a few weeks, literally, by hiring that outsource that talent to someone else. Or you can buy, partner, we can help work with you to build it internally. So whatever the mission is, and again, it's very unique with ConnectWise versus all the other providers out there, we can help you get to market the way it's comfortable for you. So again, I would just say it's nice meeting you all. Like I said, I've seen the webcast over and over again. You're doing a great job, and I'm not saying that as we talked about before, just to pat you on the back. It's the truth. It's backed up by revenue, by money, by energy in the channel, and we would love to welcome anybody that wants to go on the journey with us. So thanks again, Ray.
Well, I appreciate it, Gregg, because we all know this. Status quo is the killer of all that will be invented. Don't get stuck in status quo, and I'll see you all tomorrow.